the first to know in Nsem-Pii TV.
Okay, yebusuafo onumonyamfo Johnson Asiedu Nketia ababekasa na wakondemi eye nyewe bi a entese okujeto ablakwa Sam George na afi no John Dramani Mahama anamo bi a wom etu ya na se ensem bi a wom eka no brebia atwam onumonyamfo Asiedu Nketia abetenase wakondemi saade na Mahama okujeto ne Sam George ayeye no o kire se sa ekwan na oboka se MPP amonyekuo emfaso no enye sa kwan no na ewo se wo efaso na empokura no ono no Asiedu Nketia no on believe in sa kwan na Asiedu Nketia ama ya te ase se eye adada na nche se NDC fo wo mu de ebedada Ghana fo na wo mu nim de wo mu kampo na nkampese wo mu ababaye de asom oman no onumonyamfo Asiedu Nketia ode Nsem-Pii na nche se atodwa wate Mahama moto anje se wo expose wo mu e won tro wo mu edi e de kire Ghana fo e fa mampanyina Kufuado ode na aban ho Asiedu Nketia e de ntina Asiedu Nketia e yes ade we ni nyina e wo enkyerase de nti a Johnson Asiedu Nketia wo yes ade no na abusuafo kebekọ ne akotie e ensem a onumonyamfo kujeto ablakwa ade betu dwa Sam George edibetu dwa na Mahama nso ebekan ya Asiedu Nketia akondeme no.
Before the election, there was this conversation of galamsey. Everybody was talking about it. And the MPP lost heavily as a result of the information that came out from the politicians that the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the government of the New Patriotic Party is responsible for the perpetration of galamsey. Akufo-Addo is the only president in the Fourth Republic who had opened up a forum to deal with galamsey and has had galam stop and da. He was the only person who has done that. However, it was said that even though he demonstrated a public agenda to end galamsey, the galamsey was being perpetrated by he himself. And that one of the ways for the government to show that the galamsey they were not participating in the galamsey was to declare a state of emergency in all galamsey areas. State of emergency means that people cannot even move freely. So if a state of emergency is declared and you are seen to be moving into a galamsey pit, they kill you. Everyone believed that was the solution. Pressure was mounted on Akufo-Addo's government that anything you do, so long as you have not declared a state of emergency, Mr. President, you are guilty as charged. You and your party should be shown the exit. See Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa and a few others on this matter.
They should declare a state of emergency. All mining should just stop now.
Yes, we have to declare a state of emergency.
Just as we declared lockdown during COVID, let there be a certain declaration of it. It shows seriousness.
Yes, I think that national emergency be declared now and today, not tomorrow.
President Akufo-Addo, stop galamsey now! We will continue this fight and we will continue this struggle until our water bodies are protected.
It is his responsibility. The people of Ghana elected him. He is currently the president of Ghana. And it is his responsibility to deal with galamsey now.
A few moments later.
I don't subscribe to the declaration of state of emergency as some other people are suggesting.
8 years, galamsey has won. Yeah. You have promised that you're going to fight galamsey. You haven't put the presidency or anything on the line, but you said you would fight it. 7 months in, we are not seeing much of a change. We are still seeing the same problems. Even though you're fighting in one way or the other, the galamsey appears to be winning again.
It tells you how intractable the problem is. You know, when something starts, you can use force to quell it. But when it gains momentum up to a certain point, the same methods that you could have used to quell it in its nascent state are not the same methods that you can use to deal with it when it is blown up the way galamsey is blown up now. So I'm sure you are not suggesting that nothing is being done about it.
No, something is being
Work
done.
is being done about it. And we hope to be able to find solutions.
We can rely on hope.
I don't subscribe to the declaration of state of emergency as some other people are suggesting. I don't subscribe to that at all, because in your frustration, you can call for certain measures that when we begin implementing, you can live to regret. I'm not sure many people who are calling for a state of emergency have actually lived under a state of emergency before. Because
that's how politics is. They said call for a state of emergency. Party chairman comes to power, 8 months later, he grants an interview to Umaru Sanda Esquire, says, I don't believe in a state of emergency. Maybe those who are saying it is very risky. Maybe those who didn't live in a state of emergency before, they are calling for it. But this was a campaign issue. It was used in the campaign. It was a big part of the campaign. But that is politics. People told us. We said no. They told us. We said no. Akufo-Addo should stop the water. The water is dirty. Ankobra, they had Ankobra here, Pra here, something here. And then what is it? Akufo-Addo is going to hand over to Dr. Baumia and they'll take the galamsey on. Sam George says, stop galamsey. Today, vindication is in the womb of time. I've always said it. Vindication, always in the womb of time. General, I salute. At least you spoke the truth. We love you for that. But I love your suit, oh, Charlie. The presidential thing is coming. General, you win. Don't worry, you win. Because the suit you were wearing when Umaru Sanda interviewed you, my goodness, I just love it. I just love it. And your beautiful tie and your spectacles. You look like Woodrow Wilson, the American president. General, you win. I've given it to you. The thing, you have won it already. You win. I give to General Case. And time again, we have urged our viewers that we don't think that the young man is being treated fairly. Not because we think he hasn't committed a crime or that he has committed a crime. That the processes that have been used against him have been very high-handed. Very, very high-handed. I mean, the guy works for government. You can give me only Kwabena Dubois' photograph, it's fine. The guy works for government. He's an intelligence officer with the government. And I said, they're preparing Kwabena Dubois' photo. Okay, they'll do it. He's an intelligence officer with government. He studied at KNUST and came up with a degree in electrical engineering. His options after graduating electrical engineering in 2006 or whatever were several. He could have, with his electrical engineering degree, gone anywhere. He followed his mother, who was a public servant at the National Communication Authority, who working there felt that this company, if we get some sharp engineers, we are going very, very far. A son was an engineer. He said, Kwabena, why don't you come and consider working at NCA? And he laughed at his mother and said, me? I said, how much are they going to pay me? 200 Ghana cedis. No, I won't do it. He came to NCA nonetheless. Later on, he went abroad to work for a big international company that was building planes. Because I think he got frustrated with the NCA small. So after 2-3 years, he said, Charlie, Mama, it's okay. I finished my national service to you and your NCA. I'm going. He left to London and he worked for this company that was building planes. He built Airbus and all of that. That's where he's coming from. I'm not sure how he came back to the NCA. I think somebody told, I don't know. So then he came back to the NCA and continued to work there. When I was on the NCA board, I sat with him and I heard his contributions and it was significant. So then he decides within the thing, he advises his bosses that I think we should set up another agency and call it the National Signals Bureau so that it will be doing what the BNC is doing now as an agency. It will be much stronger because the intelligence is moving from physical go and listen to using technology to do it. And as an intelligence institution, if we don't have a full technology session, we're going to be in trouble. He campaigns on this through his bosses all the way to the front of the president's desk, then into cabinet. It is then decided that, okay, you say you want to do Signals Bureau. Think through and put together a bill for Parliament and the Attorney General's drafters to consider. Kwabena Dubois, he leads a team to go through the entire bill. It's now called Act 1040, 1040, Act 1040. They go through the entire process and make sure it is internationalized. Every single part of the bill connects to whether you are looking at high-level intelligence places like America, like UK, like Israel, South Africa, Sweden. You get all the stuff in there. And they set up a National Signals Bureau to deliver quality national security agenda for the protection of Ghana and for early warning signals on anything that could happen. Early warning signals, which is very, very important. Ghana is not just the oasis of peace in South Africa because of nothing. We are the oasis of peace in South Africa, first of all, because of the grace of God. And more important, the other important thing is because of the quality of our people. People like this guy, this electrical engineer. So if at the end, then he becomes National Signals Bureau boss, 2024 election, can MPP lose? He still works there, by the way, but he's at home. He's handed over to Mr. Tabuati, another very brilliant guy. Tabuati, who is at the Signals Bureau now, is a very good guy. He used to be at NITA. I know him. He's very sharp. Now, if Kwabena Duboahen is found guilty of the law, should it be to keep him in the Yoko cells for that huge time? This is a guy who has advanced the cause of the nation, working as National Signals Bureau. You want to take him to court, you can take him to court all you want. And then you do press conference and say he's a thief, he has stolen. If he has stolen, you can say it in court. The court will establish it. So when we do that, and tomorrow some 22-year-old boy whose father is a lecturer. Now, I have a nephew in KNUST. Young man. He was 18 or something. The guy is brutal. Brutal. I just don't want to mention his name. One day I'll mention his name. In fact, I spoke to him that he should come on this program. Let me interview him. He's just too sharp. His name is Jeremy. I won't mention his surname. Jeremy is so intelligent. He's an electrical engineer. He's studying electrical engineering. So if Jeremy finishes school, I say, Jeremy, can I take you to the NCA? He will tell me that, uncle, I should go to the NCA and they will treat me like they treated Kwabena Duboahen if you people are not in power. That's what Jeremy will tell me. But uncle, when the MPP lost the elections, look there. So if you take me there, then NDC comes next time, then they will come and, no, I don't want to do it. Jeremy will tell me he doesn't want to do it. Because of the way we do, there's a legal process. So anyway, Captain Smart had some very brutal things to say about I was watching with my mouth opened. I said, hey, Captain Smart? Asembeba Debi. Have a look at the video.
Documents are from the Attorney General's. Let me say this. We are building a country. We are not building a political party. Sir, Kwabena Duboahen, we're far buying free point A. No, they are to the private account to point B. Patch 1 is Attorney General kind. Now, Attorney General now has a case now they call court. No, the suit in the Republic versus Kwabena Duboahen, Angela Eje Boateng, Mildred Donko, and Advantage Solutions Limited. There's nowhere in this document just say Kwabena Duboahen we movie a buying seeker at their to private account. Who is deceiving who? Are you guys? What is wrong with you? Why? Why are you doing this? Why? You came to speak. Organize a press conference. Tell the entire nation that somebody moved money from point A to point B. Meanwhile, in your suit, it is not stated there. So who did you deceive?
So, Captain Smart is saying that one important thing the Attorney General said at the press conference that got everyone excited is that the accused person, Kwabena Duboahen, together with his wife, have taken money that belongs to the government and put it in their private account and squandered it. It's a very serious matter and everyone will be very annoyed. Everybody. So it's like I was working, Kwabena Duboahen was doing food. I was working as chairman of Ghana Airport. Then it is found that I don't sign, the chairman of Ghana Airport doesn't sign signatures for bank, doesn't sign checks. I don't sign any check. But it say I'm managing director of Ghana Airport Company. That's a better example. I'm managing director of Ghana Airport Company. So I signed the check with the finance director. Then it is found that Ghana Airport Company accounts in Bank A. A transfer is occasioned by the managing director of 6 million Ghana cedis, not small money, whole million Ghana cedis or 1 million Ghana cedis or 20,000 Ghana cedis transferred to the account belonging to Paul Adomochi and his wife. This is what we were told. That this is what it was said that Kwabena Dubois had done. Captain Smart is telling us that the matter before the court, this allegation is not part of it. And it is making him angry. It's making him quite angry. That this allegation that they are making is not part of what they told us. That the thing they told us that stuck in our heads was that this Edubuahi guy, we have arrested him at the Kotuka airport and we are keeping him because do you know what he's done? He has taken government money and transferred it into a private account controlled by he and his wife. Captain Smart is saying, these are his words, that the matter before the court, these things are not pleaded. It's not there at all. He said it's Iyoko that has deceived the Attorney General. I don't know whether Iyoko has deceived the Attorney General, but there's another important thing we found. I think we shared it here before. The whole Kwabena Dubois trial, because we're very interested, we picked up the National Signals Bureau Act 1040, to read it and to see, where the whole, we are still very interested in the Dubois matter. Now, if you look at Section 14 of the National Signals Bureau, there's something there that's quite interesting. I don't know what to make of it. Of course, the Attorney General has the powers of prosecution under Article 88 of the Constitution, and the Attorney General decides how he wants to prosecute. And when you are comparing laws of parliamentary acts, because the Attorney General fundamentally prosecutes on Act 29 and Act 30, the Criminal Offences Act and the Criminal Procedure. So 29 and 30 is what he generally uses, apart from many other laws, cyber security and all that. But this is also an act of parliament. So if you're comparing two acts, 29 and another act of parliament, there are various ways in which the courts have determined which one should be, should survive. If two acts of parliament have a different or opposite opinion on how a matter should be done, which one survives. Some people will say the later in time. That's an old common law principle they used to use, that some will say that the later in time. So if the laws conflict and one came in 1980 and one came in 1989, many will advocate that let's use the one that came in 1989, because when they were writing the 1989, they knew of the 1980 and they wrote the 1989. So they intended the contradiction, something like that. So the later in time sometimes suffices. If we want to use the later in time, Act 29 and Act 30 were passed in 1960. And Act 10, so you can imagine Act 29 of Parliament and 30. What we've done with our Parliament, which is very important, I don't know who gave us the idea, we've done very well. We have continued the acts. So the military decrees are separate and then we continue. So when the coup came in 1981, if the last act was 25, the 1992 starts from 26. I think it's fantastic. So we have Act 29 and 30 in 1960. And then we have Act 1040 in 2022 or so. In Act 1040, it says, investigation of complaints under the National Signals Bureau. And this is a complaint against the head of the institution, the Director General of the National Signals Bureau. So this is what it says, investigating complaints. 14.1, a person aggrieved by an act or omission of the Bureau shall submit a written or oral complaint to the Director General. The Director General shall examine the complaint and take appropriate action within 30 days from the date of the receipt of the complaint. A person who makes a complaint to the Director General, okay, the only problem is that here we are dealing with the Director General himself. So I'm not sure who the complaint should have gone to. A person who makes a complaint to the Director General under subsection 1 may, where action is not taken on the complaint within the 30 days, the person is dissatisfied with the blah, blah, blah. He shall submit a complaint to the Chief Justice. So I'm guessing that because this is about the Director General, the complaint conceived of under section 14 of the law should have gone to the Chief Justice. Okay. The Chief Justice, one more before this one. Okay, the Chief Justice Complaints Tribunal. The Chief Justice shall, on receipt of a complaint submitted under section 14, appoint within 60 days a tribunal of 3 persons to examine and determine the issues in the complaint. So this is very interesting. This is in the National Signals Bureau Act. It has to do with submitting complaints to the Director General. This is about the Director General. So we are suggesting that as the Act says, from the Director General, the next person to submit complaints to the Chief Justice. So it should have been, but I don't know the value of this in this anyway.
Political history. Parties have adopted this strategy, at least post-1992, post-1996, to repeat candidates. The whole rationale is that when you repeat a candidate, you're closer to winning the election. And so, exactly. So after 1996, the NPP repeated candidate Kufuor for the 2000 elections. He had around 39% in 1996.
But they say we didn't repeat candidate Kufuor for candidate Dubois for 96.
I'm coming. And so that's why I said that at least for this Fourth Republic, and many analysts somehow argue, it's debatable, that the NPP's, delay in coming back to power, in winning elections was as a result of the change in 1996. There are those who make that argument.
That if 1996 had repeated the Dubois, he would have defeated Rawlings?
Probably he would have defeated Rawlings. That's why I said it's debatable. But from 1996, what we have seen in these two major political parties is that it makes political sense to repeat a candidate because that brings you closer to winning power.
But that's generating an entitlement argument.
No, it's not an entitlement argument. It is not entitlement because you're going through the democratic process to elect the candidate. You're not saying that, well, merely because you contested in 1996, we're taking you into the election. So candidate Kufuor was competed against in 1998 by Akufo-Addo and Malik Alassane Yakubu from my hometown. He went on to win the election, defeating the sitting vice president, Professor Mills. The NDC learned from the strategy of the NPP by repeating Professor Mills until he was able to secure victory in 2008. In 2008, the NPP lost. All the arguments that have been made against Dr.